time for Live Well here on the Move. And usually when we think about various illnesses, there's sort of like a certain group of illnesses that we've associated with older people, maybe people in their 50s or 60s. And one of those illnesses happened to be hypertension, also known as high blood pressure. And for many years, it's only been a concern for older people, but it seems like there's a sharp uptick amongst young adults to have hypertension or high blood pressure. And this is because of, stressful lifestyles, processed foods, and many other things that have contributed in younger people experiencing hypertension. That's what we're speaking about in this hour of the show, finding out about the risk factors associated with hypertension in young adults, symptoms, treatments, and management of this illness. We have on the line joining us to speak about this is Dr. Gudu Osembo, who is a physician, to help us unpack this. Thank you so much, Dr. Osembo, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I think we don't hear enough people actually saying, like, in layman's terms, hypertension. More people would say high blood pressure, but it's also not like a very conversational thing that you hear amongst people. So could you explain to us exactly what hypertension or high blood pressure is?
Yes, I think the word hypertension many times sounds like medicalese jargon, basically. But high blood pressure is probably what makes sense to many people. So studies have been done across different populations, different people, to know what a normal blood pressure is, because normal is relative to age and a few other factors. So this guideline, this cutoff that I give will be the cutoffs for an adult, 18 years and above. Yes, so there are multiple different guidelines, but the baseline is, if you could remember any figure out of this place, I would want you to remember 120 and remember 80. Of course, It's a range. It's a range. But 120, 80 is what we could consider normal, but it's a range significantly on the lower side and on the upper side of that. When you start hitting 130, it's considered a high normal, or in some setups, they'll call it pre-hypertension. But when you hit 140 millimeters of mercury, then we consider it to be hypertension and above. The lower one is I think it's easier to remember the upper one, but it's both. The upper one called systolic and the lower one called diastolic.
Okay,
Yeah.
I need you to explain this in more layman's terms, because I think even though most of us have heard the term high blood pressure, we don't actually know what it is. Like, what is the blood pressure and what do these numbers symbolize?
Yes. So a blood pressure, the blood pressure is, I'm trying to describe it without medicalese, but a blood pressure is basically, oh yes, the pressure that you require to do life.
Okay.
Without medicalese, meaning the pressure that is required for your body to get oxygen and take away oxygen and nutrients and take away all the waste products that you have for doing life back to your lungs and your kidneys. So that's your blood pressure, the bare minimum. And it has a normal cutoff. Yes. Have I tried to make it less medicalese?
Yeah, that's fantastic. You did a fantastic job there, because I think when we get more practical about it, then we know how to manage it. What affects our blood pressure?
What affects the blood pressure? So normally, if you look at it in terms of our own body working and the working of our bodies, how the heart beats and the moment it beats and pushes blood out, that determines the upper blood pressure. I am trying to avoid medicalese.
Yeah, so go for
how
it.
Stiff, let me use the word, how stiff your blood vessels are.
Oh, okay.
Determine blood pressure. Yes.
And
how stiff they are.
And what determines the stiffness of the blood vessels? Is it how we eat? Is it based on our lifestyle, how we exercise? The health of those blood vessels, what keeps them healthy?
Very good question. I think I want to tell a story. I find that stories really add value. There was a study that was done amongst very elderly patients, and they were made to run a distance worth that could be considered a half marathon, not in one day, of course. Some of them literally just walked through, and they kept doing it until they got to the end of that 1 meter. And they measured the stiffness of their blood vessels at the start of the study and at the end of that race. And a lot of them, their blood vessels were found to be less stiff by
Mm.
almost 10 years younger. So the stiffness of our blood vessels, if you look at blood pressure, you look at two types of blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the normal blood pressure, leave that out. I'm talking about high blood pressure. So there's one that is caused by hormonal imbalances and things that are beyond you, kidney failure, things that are not because of your lifestyle, things that need attention. And that's the smaller percentage of people. The larger percentage of high blood pressure is actually caused by lifestyle issues. We are all taking elevators instead of walking up the stairs.
Mm.
We are all driving to work instead of either walking or taking a bicycle. We are taking a bus. Um, a lot of lifestyle changes. We are eating more of processed foods. You find that I usually say the farther away a food is from the soil, the more processed it is. Meaning, if I took my cassava or my arrowroot straight from the farm, I washed it, I boiled it, and I ate it. That is probably what my body really needs. But most of us will actually prefer to eat our burgers and our fries, our
Mm.
processed. And if you see that burger or that fries that somebody chooses to eat today, it has gone through a lot of processing. And the further it is, the more processed it is, and the more salt it has, and the less nutritional value it has.
Mm.
So, yes, there are certain lifestyle things that we are doing today that contribute to the larger part of high blood pressure, the bigger percentage of people with high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we need to take a break. Stay with us on the line, Dr. Osembo. It's really fascinating to really learn exactly what this is. But I think we're more fascinated to also find out why it's happening to younger people. So stay on the line. It's 21 minutes past 11 Central Africa time. We're chatting about hypertension, also known as high blood pressure.
We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet. Channel 628.
Annika Longi sur Channel Africa.
Nous allons à présent dérouler notre tapis rouge pour accueillir notre personnalité du jour, l'artiste chanteur Sheky Frey, qui est en ligne de Guinée avec nous.
Je suis un artiste guinéen, un créateur, un styliste. Et je fais un peu ce qui plaît à mes fans. Voilà, c'est un peu ça. On a beaucoup déjà de trucs à faire, mais bon, pour le moment, on est basé un peu sur le rap.
D'accord. À quelle période de votre vie avez-vous commencé à vous intéresser à la musique, Sheky?
Bon, je crois pas qu'il y ait une période, hein, parce que moi, je suis un mélomane depuis mon petit âge.
Annika Longi, tous les dimanches sur Mix Vibration.
Palesa and Benjamin fuel your day with fresh African perspective on Channel Africa.
22 minutes past 11 o'clock Central African time. You're still listening to us on The Move on Channel Africa, and this is our feature where we're trying to live the best way that we can. We're calling it Live Well, and today we're looking at hypertension, high blood pressure, what causes it, and why are we seeing it more in younger people. And we have a fantastic guest who's helping us on this one, all the way from Kenya. She's helping us look at this one. Dr. Naomi Gudu is a physician, and she's been helping us really break down the technical terms and understand our bodies a little bit more. Dr. Gudu, I assure you, you've been doing fantastic in letting us know what's going on with this hypertension thing. But let's take it back to something that you spoke about earlier on, something that I really love very much so, which is salt. I've heard that salt and sugar there are two things that actually also create a problem for us when it comes to this matter.
Yeah. Now, I love that we are speaking in an African channel, because anyone of an African descent is extremely salt sensitive. Extremely salt sensitive.
Okay.
And yes, we are very salt sensitive. And what happens is that the more salt we take, the more the body resets your normal, quote unquote, blood pressure, and your new normal becomes a high blood pressure. And salt is not just the salt that you add on the table, it's also the salt in highly processed or refined foods. If you ate one sausage, the amount of salt you've eaten in that one sausage, significantly more. So there is the issue of salt. We are taking a little more salt, and our salt is largely a type of salt called sodium salt. And there's a salt called potassium that is rich in our fruits, our vegetables, that if we do eat will actually give us normal blood pressure. It will actually lower our blood pressures. So that's why we strongly recommend and ask people, let fruits and vegetables be your medicine. so that the drugs I prescribe do not become your primary initially.
Yeah.
We would really love for medication. But of course, if you do require medication, we are always willing and able to prescribe. But can we make our lifestyles predominantly better in terms of what we eat and how we expend it?
What is
on
the
sugar? I don't know.
No,
Sorry.
apologies. Please continue.
Yes, on sugar. I usually say sugar is the hidden, highly addictive. It's the new smoking. Sugar is the new cigarette.
Yeah.
Because it does not directly lead to high blood pressure, but it leads to obesity, and it leads to overweight. It leads to cholesterol issues and many other cardiovascular risk factors. And don't we all love sugar? And it's one of the biggest enemies to our bodies. We really, really don't need a lot of sugar. And I'm not just talking about the sugar you add in your food. I'm talking about sugar-rich foods. And when you're taking a tea break, you feel you can't take your nuts and your black tea. You feel you have to take some cake, something compact,
Yeah, I love my
Yes,
biscuits. I love my tennis biscuits. They're very sugary here in South Africa. We also have something called lemon creams, Doctor. I love my lemon creams because they remind me of my grandmother. So I'm always having my tennis biscuits, and I'm always having my lemon creams, and also I put a lot of sugar in my tea.
Biscuits.
Yeah.
Those biscuits are your enemy. They are your enemy. Exchange them with some nuts.
I will say though, I think
nuts are better.
I think Ben has changed quite a lot. This morning he handed me a nargi, a fruit, as we're sitting here. So instead of snacking on something sweet, we're going to be snacking on some fruits today. Well, why is it?
Yes,
why are we
please.
seeing more and more young people getting high blood pressure? I mean, I know you spoke about the fact that we're eating more fast food, processed foods, the sugar and the salt that we put in there. But is it something that's happening with just like our bodies absorbing these things that we're eating in a different way? Why are more young people suffering from high blood pressure?
Yes, that's a very good question. Thank you. The first element is, in a young person, you must rule out. Remember the smaller percentage of high blood pressure that I talked about earlier? I didn't dwell on it much. We call it secondary hypertension, meaning your blood pressure is high because something else is wrong in your body. So for a young person, the first instinct and the first thing that you must do is to confirm that they do not have secondary hypertension, meaning hormonal imbalances, kidney failure, the kidney is off, something is wrong with their blood vessel of the kidney, something is wrong with their glands that produce hormones, So you need to be sure of that. But that being said, we are still also seeing a rise in this other type of hypertension in young people, the one we call primary hypertension. And for sure, that can be attributed largely to lifestyle, because some of the lifestyle interventions we do for high blood pressure, some of the lifestyle interventions we do are to reduce uh, our blood pressure generally and to keep it normal. Of course, I don't know if there'll be a time or an opportunity for me to talk about some of the lifestyle interventions. If that time comes, I will be glad to talk about it because it's something I'm very, very passionate about. Yeah. I actually believe lifestyle works.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can bring it back and speak about those lifestyle
Yeah,
changes
maybe we
that are
can
so
do a
important.
second part on this debate,
Yeah,
on this
absolutely.
conversation. Yeah.
Because I think it's important not just to learn that, younger people are getting hypertension, but we really need to know how to adjust and change our lives. And of course, the thing about young people is that we want to adjust, but we don't want to have boring lives and we don't want to not enjoy life.
Yeah.
So maybe we can find a way to do a little bit of both, enjoy life as well as take care of our health at the same time, if that's possible, doctor. All right, we need to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure to chat to you. We really hope to get you back again. I think you've been great in this
I think we
conversation.
need to redefine to enjoy life.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And you will help us do that the next time you come on the show. That's Dr. Gudu
Yes,
Osembo,
thank you so
who
much.
is a physician, chatting to us about hypertension and high blood pressure, particularly in young people, as we're seeing a rise of more and more young people experiencing hypertension.